Imagine walking into a bank to open your first account, feeling totally overwhelmed. Checking, savings, certificates of deposit, money markets, custodial accounts, it's like trying to order food in a foreign language. What if you choose the wrong one? What if it costs you money instead of saving it? What if you lock up your cash and can't touch it when you need it most? Don't worry, we're about to break it all down in plain English. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which account fits your life, how to set it up, and which sneaky traps to avoid. Let's get into the types of bank accounts every beginner should know, and the secrets banks don't usually tell. Number 1. The classic checking account, where your money lives, day-to-day. Think of a checking account like your wallet but digital. It's the place your paycheck lands, the money you swipe with your debit card, and the cash you use for bills, groceries, gas, and takeout. The good news? Checking accounts usually offer unlimited transactions. It means you can move money in and out freely. But here's the trap. Some banks charge monthly fees just for holding your money. Yep, you're literally paying to access your own cash. To avoid that, look for checking accounts with no monthly fees, or that waive the fee if you set up direct deposit or keep a minimum balance. Example, Chase Total Checking charges a monthly fee unless you keep at least $1,500 in the account or set up $500 or more in direct deposits monthly. Pro tip: always ask, what are the conditions to avoid the monthly fee? Number 2. The saving account, a safe spot for your future goals. If a checking account is your wallet, your savings account is your piggy bank. Savings accounts are made for setting money aside, whether it's for an emergency, a vacation, or your future. They earn interest over time, meaning your money slowly grows while it sits. But don't expect magic. Many savings accounts pay less than 1% in interest. That's not going to make you rich. Example, a traditional savings account at a big bank might give you just 0.01% interest. Put in $1,000, and after a year, you earn just 10 cents instead. Look for high-yield savings accounts. Online banks like Ally, Discover, or Marcus offer interest rates closer to 4% right now, meaning your money grows faster without taking risks. But here's what beginners don't always realize. Federal rules often limit you to 6 withdrawals per month from a savings account, so don't treat it like a second checking account. Number 3. The money market. Count a hybrid with perks. Money market accounts are like a mix between checking and savings. You get interestedly more than a regular savings account, and sometimes you even get a debit card and check writing privileges. But banks usually require a higher minimum balance, sometimes $2,500 or more, to open or avoid fees. Example, if you're saving up for a house or a car and want access to the money soon, but not right now, money market account might be a smart move. Just double-check the fees and withdrawal limits. These accounts often look good on paper, but can punish you if you dip below the minimum balance. Number 4. The certificate of deposit. Lock it and leave it. A CD, or certificate of deposit, is like a time capsule for your money. You agree to leave your money in the bank for a fixed period like 6 months, 1 year, or 5 years, and in return, the bank gives you a higher interest rate than a regular savings account. But here's the catch. You cannot touch that money during the term without paying a penalty. It's not for your emergency fund. Example, a 1-year CD might pay 5% interest. So if you deposit $5,000, you earn $250 in 1 year just for leaving it alone. If you're saving for something far off like a wedding next year or a tuition payment, you could use a CD to grow your money safely. Just don't forget the date it matures, or the bank might automatically roll it into another CD. Number 5. The custodial account. Starting early for a child's future. Let's say you want to start saving for your child or a niece or nephew. You can open a custodial account. It's also known as a UGMA or UTMA account. It's technically the child's money, but the adult controls it until they become legal. It's usually 18 or 21, depending on the state. You can invest in stocks or hold cash. Inside this account, example, Grandma opens a UTMA account and puts in $10,000. That money can be used for the child's future expenses. It's like a first car or college. But here's the twist. Once the child comes of age, they get full control, no strings attached. That means they can blow it on spring break if they want to. So plan carefully. Number 6. The business account. Don't mix business with personal. If you're starting a side hustle, selling on Etsy, freelancing, or running any kind of business, get a business checking account. Even if you're a one-person operation, separating business and personal money is key. It makes taxes easier, builds credibility, and protects you legally. Example, let's say you earn $2,000 a month dog walking. If that all goes into your personal checking account, it's hard to track income, expenses, and profits. 8. Business account keeps everything clean. Some banks charge monthly fees, but online banks like Bluevine or Novo offer free business checking accounts with no fees and extra perks. Number 7. Joint accounts share the load. But watch the risks. Joint accounts are common for couples, roommates, or even parents and teens. Both people have full access to the money and full responsibility. That's great if you're paying bills together or saving as a team, but it also means one person can drain the account without the other's permission. Example, a couple opens a joint checking account to pay for rent, groceries, and shared bills. It works fine until the relationship ends. Suddenly, your paycheck lands in an account your ex can still touch. Always set rules. Have honest conversations. Keep at least one account in your own name. Number 8. Student accounts built for budgeting newbies. Many banks offer student checking or savings accounts with no minimum balance and no monthly fees. Perfect for anyone in school. They also often come with budgeting tools and financial education. Example, Bank of America's Advantage Safe Balance Account. For students has no overdraft fees and no monthly maintenance fee if you're under 25 and enrolled in school. Just remember, once you graduate, the benefits may expire. Don't forget to upgrade or switch before surprise fees kick in. Number 9. Avoid these red flags when setting up a new account. No matter which account you choose, be on the lookout for these traps. Overdraft fees. Some banks charge $35 every time you go negative even by a few cents. That can snowball fast. Monthly maintenance fees. Avoid accounts that charge you just for existing unless you're getting major benefits in return. ATM fees. Using an out-of-network ATM might cost $3 from your bank and another $3 from the ATM owner. $6 for withdrawing your own money. Quick tip, look for banks or credit unions that refund ATM fees or offer access to large free ATM networks. Number 10. How to actually open the right account. Step-by-step opening a bank account is simpler than you think. Here's how it usually works. Step 1. Choose the right account. Checking, savings, business, based on your goal. Step 2. Gather your ID. You'll usually need a government-issued ID and proof of address. Step 3. Apply online or in person. Most banks now let you do everything from your phone or laptop. Step 4. Make your first deposit. Some accounts have no minimums, while others might ask for $25 to $100 to start. Step 5. Set up online access and mobile banking so you can track your money easily. Bonus tip, if you're unsure where to start. Online banks like Chime, Ally, or Capital One offer beginner-friendly options with no monthly fees and helpful tools. And just like that, you're on your way to becoming financially organized and confident with your money. Have you ever had a bank account surprise you with a hidden fee or rule? Let us know your experience in the comments. We'd love to hear how you handled it.